Hello friends, and welcome back to this Next.js and Contentful tutorial series. In the previous video, we added the loading spinner here to make sure that whenever we are visiting a page that is still in the process of being rendered or pre-rendered by Next.js, if the data are not yet available, then we display the loading spinner so that the user is aware that the data may be available, so he has to wait a little bit, and as soon as the data are available, we are going to display those data. Okay, but guess what? Although we are doing that well, how about for links where the page actually the link that the user actually visited, there is no data at all for that. Okay, so at the moment, our page will load indefinitely like this, right? So the user will keep waiting and waiting and waiting forever. Obviously, that's not a good user experience. If we know for sure that the job doesn't exist, like in this case, well, we want to do something about it. We don't want to let the user stand there and waiting for the data to come. So I think in this case, a good thing to do would be to simply redirect the user to the home page and maybe potentially send a message or notification said no data available for that link. Okay, but we're going to try and keep things simple. This playlist is getting very long, so we're going to just redirect the user in the case where there is no data available here. And it's very easy for us to notice if there is no data at all, because guess what? Whenever we run this function here like this, okay, whenever we run get static props, if the data are not available, before even sending the user to the page, we can intercept what we do here. Okay, so when we get the data, when we send a query, remember we are doing the query based on the slog. We then send a query to the database like this. Then we get the job. Okay, eventually, if it is available, and if it's not available, we don't need to send the not found result to the page just to render the spinner. We can intercept what we can do something more interesting, and in this case we want to redirect the user to the home page. So let's do that here. So I'm going to do if job not found. What do we want to do? Well, very simple. We want to send the user we want to redirect the user to the home page like this. Redirect destination return. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, it should be return here like this. Redirect, and then destination. This destination, we want to send him to the home page, and also we want to say permanent false, because eventually someday that link could be available at some point, and we don't want that to be a permanent link, a permanent redirect, because permanent redirect will actually almost persist in the browser cache. Okay, so we do the same here for company, do that here as well. So now in the case where we don't find the company or the job, okay, after rerunning the query here like this, because guess what's going to happen is that while the get static props is fetching the data, during that time this spinner is going to display. As soon as we get the data, it's going to be either some actual data that we can display, or it's going to be no data at all, right? So we have three states happening here. So immediately when you visit the page, okay, the spinner is going to display while we are fetching the data, and as soon as we have the data, we now have two possibilities. We can either give those data to the page to be displayed here like this, or if the data are not available, then we redirect. Okay, so three things are happening here in harmony. So let's have a look at the front end now and see it in action. On let's test it on the localhost version of the site. So if I try to click here, okay, it's going to show this, you see, exactly like I described. So if I go back to that page again, I go to next to does not exist, okay, it shows the spinner for a wait while, and then it redirects to the home page exactly like I described. Let me say that again. Let me go through it again very fast. So we have three things going on. As soon as we visit the page, okay, initially, well, the we haven't run this query yet. Okay, so this query hasn't returned yet. So while we are waiting for the data to come, we show the spinner. As soon as we have the spinner, okay, as soon as we have the spinner, as soon as we have the data, we're now in a position to decide whether or not we want to display we want to redirect them to the home page because obviously the data were not available, or we want to actually display the actual jobs. And in this case, we don't want to display the actual jobs, we want to redirect them. But in the case where we have the actual data, like for example in the real case here, obviously it's not going to show the spinner at all, and it's not going to show and it's not going to redirect either. So that's it for the that's what we call conditional redirection in the get static props function. So in the next video, I'm going to show you finally how to add a 404 page to customize what people see when they land on a page that is actually definitely not a good page to visit, like this in this case. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover in the next video. Thank you very much.